All right. A good friend of mine, Cheeks, just called me this morning to let me know that a friend of ours, living on Scott, we just call him Scott. He let me know that he passed away this morning. Um, I knew Scott for a very long time. He was actually one of the first people I knew when we moved to Grenada as a little child. I was probably like 5 or 6. We were in the same class all through primary school. We were in the same secondary school. We went through national college together. And so I've pretty much known him almost all my life. So Daryl called me at about probably around 7. It was early this morning, about minutes to 7 or 7. I can't remember exactly when. And he gave me the news, and I was in bed at the time, and I just laid in bed till I was probably lying down there, just, you know what I mean, just with the news, just sitting. I just laid down there for a few hours. I got up probably about after 1 around there, and all I thought about was just memories, just things, the time that, things that I remembered about him. So that's all I want to talk about today. I knew him from since primary school, and we were in the same class all through primary school. And as little children, he was like always the you know what I mean, one of the bigger guys in the class, you know what I mean. But he never was like a bully. You know, people would always match up, you know, like the biggest guys have the opportunity to be the bully, but he never was that. He was always like a cool fella, you know what I mean. He was just cool. And when we were in primary school, there was one time, I can remember this very well. I remember that there was a time, there was this guy from another school that was making another guy from our school go through a hard time, you know what I mean? And everyone in our school was scared of that guy from that other school. And the Scott was the one to, you know what I mean, to approach the guy. And I remember being worried, like, you know what I mean, I never seen Scott in a fight or anything like that. So to see that from him, I was worried, but I remember him just like, without thinking, like, hey, he stand up for our guy in our school, and the other guy backed down, whatever it is. Never happened after that. But I remember having a newfound respect for him, because I realized that he knew that I'm the bigger guy in the class, but he never used it against anyone else in the class. Like, there's always class bullies. He was never one of those, but could have been. Another thing I remember sharing in his excitement when we were in primary school, when his little brother Lorenzo was born. So like every time to this day, every time I see Lorenzo, the first thing that comes to mind is I remember when you were born, because I remember the excitement, and Scott was talking about it all day that his little brother was born. I just remember just random things. I remember one time the first concert I ever got to go to was a Sean Paul concert. It was in Teen Splash, and I remember not that I never used to listen to Sean Paul, but after that concert, because I saw like when they announced Sean Paul coming on stage and the excitement he had and whatnot, it actually triggered in my mind, well, who's the, you know what I mean? I started listening to Sean Paul more after that, because Scott like Sean Paul, and it was, you know what I mean, it's weird, but I just remember that. And every memory, the thing is, throughout my childhood growing up, it's someone that I would come across Scott probably just about every day, because we're in the same school, we're in the same class, and we went to the same church. So even on weekends we would link up. So it's Scott was, when I had Deondre, Scott was the godfather for Deondre. And the reason I chose Scott was because I tried to think about, out of all my group of friends, who I tried to someone who would have been, you know what I mean? I remember trying to think of the most serious minded, the most, just a good person who could be the godfather to my kid. And the first person that came to my mind, the first person that came to Judy's mind was Scott. And I was going through those photos of the baptism of Deondre, and that's what I remember for that day. Was I'm glad that he was there to stand by us with our new kid. And I just remember that. And going through Facebook for the whole morning, you see all these stories. I remember Benji, I see Benji was talking about the things that he learned from Scott. And to me, I just realized that it's almost like he saw Scott in a similar light the way I saw him, that I always looked up to him. And I just had a lot of respect for the way he went through life, just cool, you know what I mean? And he never was the type that it's almost like he always knew himself. And he never, it was just a cool guy, you know what I mean? And I just, Lyndon Scott, aka Scotty, you know, I used to call him Scotty in primary school, and then as we get older into secondary school, it just went to Scott. But we will never forget you, Scotty. And my condolences goes out to his mom, to his family, his brother, his sister, his friends, his relatives, everybody. My condolences goes out to the family. Benji and Cheeks, I know that one, you know what I mean? I know that hit y'all hard. And when y'all called me this morning, I could hear it in your voice. And I know Sunday was your birthday, and then today you're gone. Today the 19th. I just want to say I know one thing is, Lyndon Scott, aka Scott, will never be forgotten. And from here on out, from your birthday to today, you will be celebrated. I could promise you that. I know that we could. There's so much good things we can say about Scott. It's just we can talk about this forever, and I know we will never forget you. But so Scott, we will miss you.